Well, I believe is out here doing some trail magic. We were waiting on Ringo, and she's putting out stuff, and we actually had some other hikers just walk in, and somebody that called out, "Hey, Jimmy, I didn't know I was going to see you this far north." Give us your trail name again.
My name's Fog.
Fog, where did we see you last?
Grayson Highlands, like a while ago.
A good while back?
Yeah.
How has your hike gone since then?
It's gotten a lot better because no more snow, no more cold rain, and it's hot, and because I'm a Florida boy, I love the heat, so this has not affected me at all.
Fog, when you walked down, you were surprised to see the truck, huh?
Oh my God, yeah. When I saw it, I was like, Jimmy, is that you? I couldn't believe it, actually.
Yeah,
because everybody told me that I'd have to see you again. I was like, I'm not going to see him again. Like, I did not expect it to be this far north.
Neither did I. What kind of mileage are you hiking now, you know, comfortably?
I think the last time I saw you, I pushed it and I was doing like a 25, 26. Now I'm kind of like I usually do 20s now all day, but I'm starting to step up the miles. I'm probably going to move to like 30s, 35s a day for probably the rest of the hike. You know, trying to beat my buddy Caveman, because now we're not hiking together no more now. And since if we're not a team, he's the competition. So.
There you go. There you go. You're gonna have to pass him during the night.
Oh,
Make him think he's behind. You're behind him, so he won't go fast.
See, here's the thing. He is a fast hiker. He will make it to whatever shelter or whatever campsite, you know, 2 hours before me easily. But I can hike for 16 hours straight, nonstop. You know, I can do a 24-hour. I've done a 24-hour. He won't. So that's my goal. That's how I'm gonna beat the old man.
We saw him at Falls Village, which is south of us about 30 miles yesterday.
Yep.
So I don't know where he's at in here. He's maybe already passed.
He's definitely probably already passed, because I'm expecting him to be, I don't think he's going for a resupply. So I'm pretty sure he's going to push past Great Barrington today. And my goal is to smoke past him in the middle of the night without him knowing. And then I'm just going to start leaving like insults in like all the logbooks for it because I'm an asshole. But if you let me, Jimmy, I just want to give a shout out to my mom.
Absolutely.
Hey, Mom.
Absolutely. He's back out here saying, "Hey, Mom," again, so that's a good thing.
Yep.
And I ask people if they've got anybody they want to say hello to. When you say hello to Mom and Dad, that's always a good thing. Always a good thing if you have a wife or a husband back home to thank them or say good things about them. Have you had any hard sections since you've seen me that you to think back? Well,
the hardest thing I did was I completed the 4-state challenge, which is the Death March.
Sure.
Which is I did about 46 miles. Started in Virginia, went into West Virginia, went into Maryland, and then went into Pennsylvania, all within 24 hours. And by the end of it, I was completely delusional. I was seeing stuff. I was hearing things. When I finally made it to the Mason-Dixon line in Pennsylvania, like the people who work on the trail, they were like, they saw me and they were like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "No." And they were like, "We're gonna get you a ride to town." I was like, "That'll be great." And you know, I think I went into town there, stayed at a Days Inn, and just passed out for like 24 hours. And the scary thing is like that was such a brutal march because I did it while it was raining. It was raining and it was cold and it was just bad. And anybody who's done it knows how bad it is, because Maryland is not flat. It's nothing but rocks. It's horrible. And then, what is it? I have memories right now of having conversations with people that did not happen. That's how freaking out of it I was.
Yeah, I hear you.
And when I called people, were just like, "Hey, do you remember? You know, we talked about this yesterday." It was like, we haven't talked for a week, and I was just like, "Oh hell," you know. And then so that was easily my hardest day, because I wanted to do the Death March challenge. But I know a lot of people asked me if I did the ice cream half gallon challenge. I was like, no, because I'm not an ice cream eater. But my buddy Caveman, he killed it in like 28 minutes, you know. So he was like, it was nothing to him. Me, I can only have like a cup.
I hear you. We stop and get ice cream every time I can find it close to that truck.
I don't know how you all do it. I really don't.
That's what kept me going.
Yeah, Sherry, I believe wants ice cream every time I see her. Well, listen, appreciate you stopping and talking to us, and glad we caught you another time. We probably won't see you again, but maybe you could go on the channel and tell them about tag a picture or something of you climbing.
We'll do. I'll definitely send you guys a picture once I make it up to the top of Katahdin.
And we'll put it on the channel.
All right, sounds good.
God bless every step between here and there, my friend.
Thank you so much.
I've got another hiker here that just showed up, and while we're waiting on Ringo, and we're at Everett Mountain, I think we call it Everett Mountain Road, I believe. Give us your name, trail name, and anything you want to share with us.
Hi, my name is Puddles. I'm Christy, and I'm from New Hampshire, and I'm doing a flip-flop. So I started in Harper's Ferry April 30th.
How did you get that name, Puddles?
Actually, it's a long story, but my husband's called me Puddles for a long time and asked me to use it as trail name. So
that's good enough. And where's home?
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire, so you're hiking home.
I am, actually, yes.
What made you decide to ever through hike the Appalachian Trail?
Well, about 15 years ago, I was at an outfitter getting my son ready for his first overnight with Boy Scouts, and standing in line waiting to pay for the gobs of gear that it requires, I happened to see something on the Appalachian Trail, and I read it. I don't remember if it was the back of a book, a calendar, or what it was, but it just piqued my interest, and after that it just kind of got stuck in my heart. And so for 15 years I've thought, you know, someday. And last year a couple of close friends, business owners in my community passed away. One in his 40s, one in his 50s. And I said, you know what? Someday will never come unless I make it a point.
That's good.
So I made it a point, and it's my year.
Well, that's great. Great story of how you got out here. Do you have a blog or anything that people could follow you if they wanted to?
I journal on Trail Journals.
Okay.
And I'm on Instagram also. I don't post there very often, but I do put some photos up. And on Instagram, I'm THRU Hiker 2018.
And on Trail Journals is Puddles?
Puddles on Trail Journals.
Okay. And how often do you get a chance to put something up on the Trail Journal?
I post every couple of days
Good.
on Trail Journals. So like sometimes, you know, I might just play catch up and post 2 or 3 days at a time. Usually a couple of days behind.
You said your husband came out and hiked a little while with you?
Yeah, he hiked the first 4 days with me from Harper's Ferry through Maryland, actually, and then slack packed me for a day in Pennsylvania. And then he went home, and he helps with my resupply from home.
I can relate to him very well, since my wife through hiked. And a lot of times people don't really know what the spouse goes through when the wife is away, and taking care of all the little things that they never have taken care of before.
Yeah.
And but so that's good that you've got a support system back home.
Absolutely.
Very big deal. Now, you started at Harper's Ferry. You're going to Katahdin. I haven't interviewed very many flip-floppers.
Okay.
When do you expect to be in Katahdin, first of all?
I expect that I'll be in Katahdin probably sometime around the middle of August. I'm guessing middle to the end of August.
And then you will immediately go back to the trail, or will you take a break?
I'll probably only take a day or two. And then
At home?
Yeah, at home. And then head back to Harper's Ferry to hike south.
Now, will he come get you at Maine and bring you back? Well, I didn't know if you were taking a bus or what.
I think he will, yes, because we live in New Hampshire.
Will he go?
I don't think he would summit Katahdin with me. We haven't actually talked about it. I'm going to be off trail with him for a few days the first week of July to celebrate our anniversary and his birthday.
Okay.
So we'll probably have that conversation then. But I do expect that he would be there to pick me up in Katahdin if he doesn't summit the mountain.
Yeah, at Millinocket. Now, when you go back to Harper's Ferry, then what time of the year do you plan on summiting in Georgia?
I estimate I'll be finished sometime around the end of October, beginning of November.
Okay, we'll be down there, so we may be able to help you.
That'd be great.
We come out and do some trail magic for the southbounders. And now the flip-flop situation is going to make it a lot more interesting this year, because we usually don't have very many southbounders, just straight southbounders. And the reason you consider the flip-flop versus a standard north or south, either way, why?
Well, I do hike in New Hampshire in the wintertime, but I couldn't see myself actually living out there in snow and cold. And the timing, being able to leave a little bit later in the spring, worked well for me. And so I feel like I'm getting the best of all the seasons, and to be thinking about walking through the Shenandoahs in the fall is really appealing to me too.
I really believe that
gorgeous.
It's got a lot more advantages than disadvantages when you give it serious thought.
Sure.
People's got to get over the idea, well, that's not the traditional way, but it's my way.
It took me about 5 minutes to get over that.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that.
I'm excited about summiting Katahdin because it means that I'm halfway through. For me, like, I feel like that's the hardest part of the trail, and in my mind, the rest of it is just the frosting on the cake. So I'm really looking forward to the southern portion.
How many miles are you at now, where we are right now? Do you know?
I don't know exactly how
About
many.
300 or
Oh, no.
4, 5?
No, more like 6.
More 6,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
good. Okay, so you're more than a quarter way, for sure.
Yes.
Okay. What's been the hardest part for you since Harper's Ferry?
I think the rocks in Pennsylvania, they really tore up my feet. They gave me foot fatigue. I changed shoes 4 times. So getting the right shoes and the right insoles so that I could manage all that pain was the most difficult thing for me.
Can you remember your worst day?
My worst day?
And
No.
it, you know, that's good. Hey, that's a good thing.
Actually,
That's a really
I
good
actually
thing,
can't
Puddles. That's a
remember
really
my
good
worst
thing.
day.
What about your best day?
I think every day is a great day
That's-
out here, to be honest.
That's a great answer. I like that answer. If somebody's thinking about doing it next year, say another lady looking at it, thinking I've kicked this in my mind for a long time, what would you tell them?
It's really hard, but at the end of the day, you kind of forget all that. It's just, the reward is so wonderful.
Okay.
To be out here in nature, the people that you meet, to overcome those challenges, and really everybody out here is on the same playing field. The trail is really an equalizer, and it's a great teacher too.
Okay. Anybody you want to say hello to before we close out, or any challenges, or just something in general you want to share with us?
I couldn't thank my family enough for all their support, in particular my husband, doing everything that he's doing back home, helping to run my business along with my son, and just all my family who signs my guest log and leaves me notes on trailjournals.com, and it's just been wonderful. I couldn't do it without them.
Good. God bless every step between here and Katahdin, and hope that we get to see a summit photo.
Thank you. Awesome.
Got me another hiker that walked up here a few minutes ago, and we're going to talk to her. Tell us what your name is and what you're doing.
Hi, I'm Goldilocks on the trail.
Goldilocks, how'd you get that name?
Well, I was a little choosy about my hostel bed. I had to try all 3 beds, and then I changed my mind. And I tend to do the same with tent sites. And I also really like my super porridge. And I've seen 3 bears, Mama, Papa, and Baby.
Oh, cool. Now, did you name yourself or somebody else named you?
Somebody else.
And what is your hike looking like? Where are you hiking to and from?
I'm hiking from Harper's Ferry to Katahdin. I started May 10th. I was hoping to be there 3 months, but it might take me a little longer.
And are you going to try to do the other section later or something, or just?
I have no plans to at the moment.
Okay. And why did you choose that section in this time of life?
Well, I felt like taking a long walk, and
This is a long walk. You've succeeded.
This was the most convenient trail, really.
Okay.
And well marked, because I'm not real great at navigation, so I heard there was lots of civilization around if I got lost, and
Okay, and there he is.
and it was also convenient. My sister lives in New Jersey. I live in Canada, and she was coming up for Easter, so I caught a ride back, and I didn't have to pay for a flight.
There's a couple from Canada that could be real close to where we are, Sunshine and the Kid. And we interviewed them way south, and they're just a lovely couple from Canada.
I haven't met them, I don't think.
Yeah, I hope you would meet them. So how far are you going today? You just told me about 15 miles per day is what you're shooting for?
Yeah, that's what I'm shooting for. I seem to take a lot of time in town lately. So.
That's nothing wrong with that. Has it been harder than you thought it was?
Yeah, and in different ways. I think my body's used to the walking now, but still the bag is heavy, and every time I resupply, I get too much still.
Do you know
and my bag is too heavy for a week.
Do you know how much you're carrying? Do you know what the pack would weigh?
I'm sure it's over 40 pounds right now.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's big. That's big. Yeah.
I'm sure it's at least around 40 pounds, yeah.
That's kind of big.
And then next week it'll be, 5 pounds lighter or so.
Oh, yeah, you eat the food, but then you'll stop and buy some more.
Yeah, so that's the problem, because I got used to the walking, so I feel like, it's the carrying that's hard, and and it's planning, town stops, and logistics that's hard for me.
You look like you're having a good time.
I'm doing all right. I had a bad night last night, actually.
Okay, well.
But it was good to meet you guys. So
bad nights.
Made my day.
Bad nights make good days feel greater.
That's a good one.
You want to say anything to anybody?
I'd say hi to my mom and my sister.
Okay.
They support me in all my crazy plans, whatever they might be.
Uh-huh.
Don't even buy an eyelash anymore. Just like, okay, there she goes.
Well, God bless every step between here and Katahdin.
No, I need
Thank
to
you.
fill it up.
Thank you.
Okay.